Good evening, money magnets and master traders. I tell you this, guys. Didn't quite get that trend move I was looking for. At least it didn't come in the way that I was thinking it was going to come. But it was a lot better than yesterday. We had some volatility in the beginning of the day. We had some good level to level move, in my opinion. Broke down 597 right here. Gave us a nice drop to 594. This was alerted in the Discord. 597 failed. And then from there, it bounced, giving us a false breakdown setup. Holy moly, donut shop. Was it trappy? Trading with the traps. You know, there's market makers. They manipulate this market, so you know there's going to be traps. All the experienced traders, you guys know there's going to be some traps. Had a false breakdown setup. Trapped the bears. And then we had a false breakout setup. You guys remember that 598 level? You guys look at the range yesterday. 598 down to 595.5. In the morning, the market makers attacked liquidity. Went stop loss hunting against the bulls and the bears before they decided to finally give us some type of trend move, which ended up being to the downside. We cleared 598, broke back below 598, false breakout setup. And just dropped, going as low as 591. Coincidence? I think Uncle mentioned that the 591 level was an important pivot level. Why was it important? Because it was a fib level combined with this down trend line that we have. We broke out of it on June 3rd. And now we got ourselves a healthy back test to try and confirm the breakout. You guys see that wick? So far, they held right at that 591 level. Nothing fancy, just simplistic price action analysis. I love it. Question now is, what's the next thing, Uncle Charters? We got the back test. What's the next thing? I believe tomorrow, if not tomorrow, then Monday. In the next 2 trading days, SPY should give us some type of trend move. I'm just not sure which way. Because we got the breakout, we got the back test held. That's overall bullish price action. But you and I both know that the market can do whatever the heck it wants to do. So what's the point of Uncle Charters' YouTube video? I'm here to help you get the wabams.
What's a bam? That's the bam. Bam. That's another bam.
That's when we play a setup and then hit a target. Wabam! What's a wabam? It's when one of our targets get hit. I love it when that happens. 591. And I tell you this, if bears want to turn things around, because the back test is overall bullish and it's healthy, but if bears want to turn it all around, I have support at 592.5 and 591. If we break down 591, this is going to be more than a healthy back test. This is going to be a false breakout setup. Look at the example of a false breakout setup on the 15-minute chart. The 15-minute chart is a 15-minute candle. It takes hours, couple of hours, few hours to play out. The daily chart obviously takes a few days to a few weeks. But I want you guys to see the power of the false breakout setup. It's powerful. First of all, speaking of false breakout, we broke down 595.5 on the daily chart. We broke it down. That's some lopsided, imperfect evening star patterns, what it's looking like. But either way, that's for sure a false breakout setup, at least from the 595.5 level. And then we got down to 591 for the back test of the trend line / fib level. If it fails, we're going to have an even bigger false breakout setup. False breakout means bearish. Bearish means you want to bet to the downside. You want to favor more downside. So below 591, Uncle would be bearish. But we'll play it level to level. 589.5, 588, 585.5, 583.2, 582, 580.3 would be my target, and then 579 for the gap fill. All possible to hit if we break down or even gap below that 591 level. If we are below it, get bearish, look for breakdowns on support or false breakout setups intraday. Now, if we are to trust this bounce, obviously we got a false breakout setup off that 595.5 level, which led to the back test of this critical level. So if we are to trust this bounce, that trap setup needs to get invalidated. So from 591, and if 592.5 holds, I have 594 and 595.5 as next resistant levels. For me to trust the bounce and turn back to being bullish, this false breakout setup must be invalidated, and to invalidate it, price must recapture 595.5 If it does, I would get bullish. In favor, we go back up to 598, 599, 600.3, and 603 as my targets. You guys are money makers. You guys are money magnets, master traders. So listen to Uncle. We break down 591 tomorrow, get bearish. And if we recapture 595.5, get bullish. Triple Q. We broke down that 527 level, back tested 523 fib level, which also happened to be a pivot high from late May. That 523 is an important level for tomorrow because if it breaks down, it's a good chance we could break down that multi-month trend line. I have to zoom out. Multi-month trend line all the way back from April 7th, connecting to April 21st low. I'm telling you, we break down 523, 521, and 519. Bears are taking control. Now, if we are to trust the bounce from 523, 525, and 527 must recapture to put 530, 531.7, and 534 all back in play. So, above 523 and clearing 525 and 527, favor a bounce. But if you lose 523, I do have more support levels to the downside. But below 523, I would lean bearish. NVDA, nice intraday pullback. Got a red day. First red day in a couple of trading days. Few trading days. But it was red. And I have support at 139.3. If it fails, guess what, guys? 138, 136.5, 135 would all be targets. There is a big gap all the way down to 131-ish area. Those will all be targets if we lose that 139.3 and 138 level. Trust the bounce only if 141 and 142.5 can recapture to go hit 144, which rejected hard today, by the way. But if we ought to go back and hit 144, 141 and 142.5 must clear, and above 144, I would be bullish again with 145.6, 147, and 150 as my targets. Remember, if we lose 139.3, bearish. Above it, bulls still have a chance at a bounce. Tesla, holy moly. Donut shop. What was going on Twitter? I heard some people whining and crying, talking about Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. Apparently, even the trillionaires hate Donald Trump. I thought the rich people love Donald Trump. Apparently, not all of them do. And, yeah, it dropped to the downside. It broke down the megaphone pattern. I actually covered Tesla this morning in my Discord. I wrote, we're at the bottom of the megaphone pattern. If bulls want to bounce out of here, 325 and 327 must clear to put those higher targets in play. If 323 and 321.5 fail, sell-off continues with 320, 318 or lower in play. Boy, oh boy, did it break down support levels, 321.5, 320, 318. See, I don't care about the news. I don't care about none of that drama. I care about the price action. Now, does the news and all that baby drama that they're talking about, does it help? Absolutely it helps. Look at the volatility. Give me the volatility. That's all I care about. Give me the volatility. Focus on the money. Don't focus on the drama. They want you to focus on the drama, keep you broke. Tesla's been in an uptrend since early April, and I have fib levels from April 7th low up to this recent pivot high at May 29th. Look at where it bounced. Damn near perfect. Today's low was 273.2. Now, I had a fib level at 272.87, so it's not perfect, but it's damn near perfect. Look at that. That's the 61.8 fib level. Now, you guys know the 61.8 fib level is very important because it's considered the golden level. Tesla went straight to the golden level, found some buying pressure. You know, we had a lot of important back tests today, guys, from important support levels, including Tesla. Amazing how that happens. And I tell you this, now that we hit the golden level, if we are to trust the bounce, we have to remember Tesla's a bit volatile, so the levels are going to be spread out a bit, but I do have a support level, a resistant level at 284.5, 283 and 284.5. If those levels clear, 287, 289, and 291 would be in play. Now, 291 is the 50% fib level. If you are a bull, you want to see that level recapture for any chance of a bigger bounce. Above 291, I would favor a bigger bounce, but only possible if we can clear 283 and 284.5 to go test 291, and above 291, bigger bounce possible. Now, if we are to keep it bearish, stay below 291 because we broke down that fib level today. Obviously, we got some support level. Well, I have support level at 279.5 and 278. If those levels can fail, 276, 274, and 272.8 would be back in play. And below 272.8, that's below the golden level, and that would be very bearish. So fingers crossed Elon Musk keeps crying, because if he keeps on crying, there's a good chance we keep on selling. I don't know. I don't trade based on the news, but the news can certainly help with volatility, and I'll take that. Now moving on to coin. Coin looked like, hey, I tell you guys, you guys know, you guys been watching my videos. You know I had this red trend line there for a few days, okay? Uncle charted it. You know, I didn't just, oh, look at that, and then I put the line there. That line been there for a little while. And why was that line there? Because Uncle was talking about a potential head and shoulder pattern. And watch that 257.5 level, because below we are bearish, and boy, oh boy, did that work out. Please tell me at least one of you guys caught the move, because it was beautiful. Now, where did we go back to, though? It's so right back down to the buy zone. There's a couple times. You know where the neckline is? There's the neckline. I talked about the head and shoulder. I never even put out the neckline. The neckline is around 239. We came right back down there before we had some buying pressure. So I tell you guys this. If the selling pressure from today continues into tomorrow, and this head and shoulder that Uncle been talking about is to finally play out, you want to see that 239 level fail. Because if it does, neckline, goodbye, and the sell-off continues to the downside. Trust no bounce unless resistant levels, or lost levels I should say, can recapture. We lost some levels today. Yes, we did. 241, 243, 245, and the fib level at 246.7 are resistant levels right now. All must recapture for me to trust the bounce, especially 246.7, for me to believe we can bounce back up to 250 plus. Otherwise, stay bearish below 249.7, and if we lose 239, say goodbye to the neckline, head and shoulder playing out, baby. VIX. Now, while the other ticker symbols were back testing critical support levels, the VIX back tested a critical resistance level. You guys see that uptrend line I had? Now, we broke down that uptrend line back on June 3rd. Today, it decided to back test it as a resistance. If it's more than a back test and it's a recapture, getting above 19 would make me feel a little bullish. And getting back above 20.4 would definitely make me bullish. But it'll start with the recapture of 19. Above 19, this was definitely more than a back test. This is a bounce. A bounce. Back to the upside. Time to get bullish. But if we're below 19 and 17 finally fail, because it finally tested today, but if it finally fails our support, we're bearish on the VIX. A bearish VIX is usually a bullish SPY, and a bullish VIX is usually a bearish SPY. Stay ready for the price action. Sheep style, baby. Bye. Peace out, money magnets.